You know, there's this big discussion in the Talmud whether we should start with 8 candles on the first night of Hanukkah and go down, or start with 1 and go up. And the Talmudic answer is you should go up, you should build to something more exciting. And I've decided, looking out, that the real reason for it was attendance on a Friday night service. You guys are all the first candle, and as the service goes down, the second night, the third night, the fourth night of people are all going to arrive. So thank you, because you know it's the first candle that sheds the most darkness when you light it in a dark spot. So that's all of us who are here. So Shabbat Shalom. And we'll start on page 5.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elon, Melech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Borachem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei
a reminder for all of us as we've come together, if you need facilities through the administration doors in the rear, you just go down the hall, make a left, and there are two there. It's a little bit cooler tonight, but it doesn't mean we don't get thirsty. There's water on the side table. Kurt, wave, and everyone can see Kurt. It is over there as well. And with that, I want to call up, we have so many people in the community who have really helped in so many ways to make this Shabbat on the Plaza series so successful. But people in the community have really stepped up by sponsoring different Shabbatot. And so I want to call up our sponsors for this week, Rabbi Freshman, John Tiger. We're going to light these Shabbat candles up here. It's not Tiger, I was messing with you. Alan's last name is T-I-E-G-E-R, and I went up to ask how to pronounce it because I actually didn't know, and we made a joke about Tiger. So. The miracle of Chanukah, of course, is that little cruise of oil lasted 8 days. The miracle of Shabbat on the Plaza is that the wind, since we got these glass columns a few years back, the wind does not blow out the Shabbat candles. So miracles all around. We're going to continue on page 11, Lefu
Poali
21, and I want to highlight two words at the very beginning of this psalm. The Hebrew is Mizmor LeDavid. The English here says a Psalm of David, but the superscription, that Mizmor LeDavid, we don't know what it means because there are a bunch of psalms. It could mean a psalm written by David, King David, who apparently did at least write some of the psalms. It could mean a psalm in the style of David, meaning referring to the older layers of the book of Psalms in which he was an author, or it could mean a psalm dedicated to David. So a lot of meaning, in prepositions in all languages have all sorts of meaning. But I'm spending a lot of time on that because if it is Hanukkah in July, then it's a good reminder about different types of miracles, and David was an example of all sorts of miracles. As a kid, of course, David taking on Goliath was one of the great miracles with his slingshot. But there's a beautiful, beautiful midrash that when David would sleep in his bed, his harp would be over his bedstand. Don't do that in earthquake zones. You might have a harp fall on your head. And according to this midrash, the wind would come and blow and make this beautiful music, sort of a gift of the angels of God, and David would record it and then share it outward. And this particular psalm is about hearing God in nature and the music that occurs all around us. So it's a beautiful connection to Hanukkah, age 21.
One holiday. Mizmor LeDavid, Show.
I guess. Page 23, as we begin Lechato D, we'll do the first two stanzas and then the last one, 25, which is our regular custom. But the very first stanza says, Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, which means observe and remember were uttered as one. And this refers to, there are two versions of the Ten Commandments in the Torah, and in one it says you should observe the Shabbat, and the other it says you should remember it. And, you know, our rabbis weren't really happy when you'd have like an apparent contradiction to that. And they understood it to mean that God's speech is not like human speech, and that God was able to say and have contained in the Ten Commandments both meanings at the same time. If God were a politician, you might say God was speaking out of both sides of the divine mouth, but we're not going there. Page 23. But I do want to just extend our condolences to Amy Harwin for her family's loss, and next week or so we'll add that in. But it's always just a reminder that there are people in our community with different sorts of needs, different sorts of struggles or loss that they're dealing with. It's not only the loss of life, and that there's a way that by tuning in, as this prayer does, it's a reminder that it's part of what we do as a Kehillah to go show our holy community. We're going to turn now to page 27. Shiri Yom Shabbat, the psalm for the Sabbath day. So why on earth are we celebrating Hanukkah in July? Were we just confused about the calendar? I mean, that is understandable. It's hard to keep track of when the Jewish holidays fall, right? They squirm around like a little kid left in the classroom too long. Or is it simply because who doesn't like a latke? If we were to revamp an old saying from the 1960s, never trust anyone who is over latkes. I'd like to offer three justifications for this fakakta theme. Fakakta is Yiddish for the English word pakakta. For this fakakta theme of Hanukkah in July. One is historical, one is about how we all need to find light during unsettling times, and one is reclaiming the importance of miracles. So speaking historically, there is precedent for celebrating a holiday more than once in a year. Passover, of course, is the most obvious example, and it was so important that people celebrated and partook of the ritual of the Paschal, of the Passover sacrifice, that if they missed the observance, a month later, there's this holiday called Pesach Sheni, or Second Passover, and they could do it then. I think this was created by people who knew how inexpensive matzah becomes when Passover ends. But our sages, meanwhile, noted long ago that Yom HaKippurim, the Hebrew for Yom Kippur, can be translated as the day that is like Purim. And most of us may not immediately understand how a day of fasting and forgiveness are connected with, well, the Jewish Mardi Gras feast in which we wear costumes, drink, and let down our hair. And while we don't have time to examine all of the spiritual, emotional, and historical reasons that connect those two holidays, which fall 5 months apart, it's enough for our purposes to note that historical connection. Tonight, however, the importance of light and miracles is what I especially want us to focus on. Because when the world feels topsy-turvy, it's easy to lose sight of the blessings of light and miracles that constantly accompany us. Yet, as Napoleon Hill, one of America's first motivational speakers, reminded us, you become what you think about. So let's each become a source of light and miracles. And with that in mind, I hope you all picked up in your prayer book a handout with 2 poems. It's been a while since I brought poetry into service, although of course the prayer book itself is an extended poetic work. So let's begin with Mary Oliver's poem entitled Poppies. And Brian and Laura picked a great poppy. If you've ever been in Israel in the spring when it's rained in the Negev, you'll see that sort of poppy everywhere. So Mary Oliver writes, the poppies send up their orange flares, swaying in the wind. Their congregations are a levitation of bright dust, of thin and lacy leaves. There isn't a place in this world that doesn't sooner or later drown in the indigos of darkness. But now, for a while, the roughage shines like a miracle as it floats above everything with its yellow hair. Of course, nothing stops the cold, black curved blade from hooking forward. Of course, loss is the great lesson. But I also say this, that light is an invitation to happiness, and that happiness, when it's done right, is a kind of holiness, palpable and redemptive. Inside the bright fields touched by their rough and spongy gold, I am washed and washed in the river of earthly delight. And what are you going to do? What can you do about it, deep blue night? Isn't that lovely? There's one section in particular that's worthy of us returning to, because Oliver reminds us that, but I also say this, that light is an invitation to happiness, and that happiness, when it's done right, is a kind of holiness, palpable and redemptive. So on Rosh Hashanah, day 2, I'm actually going to be teaching a class on how to experience more joy in our lives. And when thinking about it, some people think that joy and happiness are frivolous, especially when there's so much suffering all around. Hedonistic joy that's focused merely on personal pleasure may have an element of frivolity to it. But Oliver is reminding us that when happiness is done right, it brings with it a sense of redemptive holiness. Hanukkah reminds us that when things seem darkest, we do not need to be dark ourselves. I would be hard-pressed to think of examples of when or how misery benefits ourselves or those around us. The opposite, however, the sort of holy happiness that Mary Oliver speaks about, is indeed redemptive. It improves the mood of those around us, even as it allows us to find solutions to otherwise intractable problems. Happiness aids us in getting unstuck. Oftentimes, we might think that pessimism is more realistic or useful, yet that's rarely the case. When we're unhappy, as brain science has now demonstrated, we put on cognitive blinders and literally see less of the world. Even during the long, brightly lit days of summer, we all need a healthy dose of spiritual light. The other central message of Hanukkah is about the presence and reality of miracles. And while science is not as venerated in this country as it once was, or as it needs to be, it still exerts an enormous influence on how we all think about the world. And because of that, a great many Jews, as well as countless other Americans, don't believe that miracles occur. And for these people, everything that occurs is a rational explanation. Yet tonight, I want to remind you that this belief actually demonstrates a confusion about what miracles are. In an extended quote on Exodus 13, Ramban, Nachmanides, emphasized that the only reason for the great open miracles, like a little container of oil that burns for 8 days, or the splitting of the Red Sea, the only reason for the great open miracles is so that we will come to realize and experience all of our existence as one ongoing miracle. Albert Einstein was of a similar opinion, for he's recorded as stating that there are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle, the other is as though everything is a miracle. And with that in mind, turn over your sheet to the Whitman poem, entitled Miracles. Walt Whitman was a journalist. He, in addition to poet, traveled all over the country. Why, who makes much of a miracle? As to me, I know of nothing else but miracles. Whether I walk the streets of Manhattan or dart my sight over the roofs of houses toward the sky, or wade with naked feet along the beach just in the edge of the water, or stand under trees in the woods, or talk by day with anyone I love, or sleep in the bed at night with anyone I love, or sit at table at dinner with the rest, or look at strangers opposite me riding in the car, or watch honeybees busy around the hive of a summer forenoon, or animals feeding in the fields, or birds, or the wonderfulness of insects in the air, or the wonderfulness of the sundown, or of stars shining so quiet and bright, or the exquisite, delicate, thin curve of the new moon in spring. These with the rest, one and all, are to me miracles, the whole referring, yet each distinct and in its place. To me, every hour of the light and dark is a miracle. Every cubic inch of space is a miracle. Every square yard of the surface of the earth is spread with the same. Every foot of the interior swarms with the same. To me, the sea is a continual miracle. The fishes that swim, the rocks, the motion of the waves, the ships with men in them. What stranger miracles are there? Isn't that a beautiful reminder of how to live? To me, every hour of light and dark is a miracle. Every cubic inch of space is a miracle. Like Einstein and the Ramban, Whitman got it. Everything is indeed a miracle. More than ever, the world is in need of wonders, people who stand in awe of our one precious life, who love and recognize that their friends and families are also miracles. More than ever, the world needs people who fearlessly commit themselves to being sources of light. More than ever, the world needs Hanukkah in July and January, as well as in March and May. May we each hear that invitation so that, like Mary Oliver and Walt Whitman, we learn to receive the light and blessings that touch each moment of existence. Baruch atah Hashem, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel hanishama. Praise to you, God, King of the universe, who commanded us with your mitzvot and ordained us to light the light of the human soul. May we learn to let our souls blaze brightly. Shabbat Shalom. I invite you to rise, page 39A, the Holy Worship Book. theme for this coming year is men be a blessing, and miracles, reciting blessings, are one of the ways that we tune into that. And prayer also is supposed to do that and attune us. On page 40, Ahavat Olam is a reminder that love actually is everywhere, and we get to choose if we're going to focus on the hate or turn to the love that's equally there, waiting to greet us, to meet us, and to flow out from us. Page 40.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת. אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים חוקים ומשפטים אותנו. לימדת תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים אותנו. לימדת על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשומרנו ותחומנו, נשיח בחוקיך, נשיח בחוקיך. תורה ומצוות, חוקים חוקים ומשפטים אותנו. לימדת תורה ומצוות, חוקים חוקים ומשפטים אותנו. לימדת ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם
In the first paragraph of the Shema, as Erica comes up here, I want you though to turn to page 42, because I know that your noses are all smelling lalakas and what makes lalakas good. So in the Shema, there is this word, fourth line down, right before the colon, v'yitzharecha, which is translated here correctly, and oil, or and your oil. But what's beautiful about Hebrew and the way that there are roots in everything is that the word for oil used here, it's not shemen, which a lot of us may know, it is yitzharecha. It means that which blazes. And the word sohar is a name for the window in the ark that let light in when Noah saved the whole world. So the miracle of the oil is that which burns bright, is brilliant, and lets the light in. With that, Erica will lead us with the Shema on page 41. By Miriam and the women with their timbrels after crossing the Yam Suf, Kriyat HaYam Suf, the tearing, the ripping apart of the Yam Suf, so that we could move from slavery to freedom, from despair to redemption. Is this prayer for sleeping, and I'll tell you personally, when I felt moments of despair or great worry about whatever was happening, I didn't sleep as well. There's an element of trust that's deeply involved, and Cantor will lead us in that Hashkivenu on 45.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom, Leshalom, Ve'amidenu Malkeinu Lechaim, Lechaim, V'salenu Sukkah Shelomecha, Shelomecha, Shelomecha,
mentioned Yom Kippur and its connection to Purim earlier. There have been scholars who've studied that Yom Kippur wasn't difficult for our ancestors from fasting because they were often food insecure, and fasting was a more normal part of life. One of the things that many Jews did, we have records in the Middle Ages, is they would fast, say, on Monday and Thursday in order to save enough money so that come Shabbat, they could have challah, they could have gefilte fish, they could have wine for kiddush. What a beautiful, beautiful statement of the endurance of hope and of our connection to Shabbat. We'll rise on 46 B'Shamru Shabbat, all the different ways we've observed throughout the ages.
B'Shamru b'nei Yisrael HaShabbat, Na'asot et HaShabbat, L'dorotam berit olam, Beinu b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, Mishek sheyamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, u'bayom hasheni Shabbat v'yinachash. Yikadash v'yikadash Shem Ramah Yamati Mechaki Uteh Ve'urim Avdeh Chayvon Yom Echol Chayed Echol Bet Yisrael Bet Yisrael Bagala Bagala U'Yisrael Gami Ve'yimenu Amen. Yesh Merabah Merabah Merabah
47 to 52, or however your heart prompts you. Please continue at your own pace. We'll turn to 53 at the bottom again with the road. Bookend, closing out this part of the service. Amen.
עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
Up to lead us in Kiddush on page 55. Rabbis, the bima is yours.
במצוותיו ובצוונו, ושבת קודשו, יבוא רצון יחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, הוא יום תפילה במקרא קודש, זכר תפילה מקדש השם.
While we're up, we'll keep standing for a later.
עלינו לשבח אדון הכל, לתת קריאה יוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו ירצון, ולא שמנו משפחות האדמה, שלא שמנו ככהן, וגור עלינו ככל אמונה, אנחנו קוראים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. כתוב תורתך
Seated as we turn to the words of the Kaddish Tome, Kaddish. I'd like to invite those of us who are observing a yard site or in a period of mourning to rise, and as our eyes meet, if you can call out as loudly as you can manage, at least as comfortably, the name of the person for whom you are reciting Kaddish.
That's my dad, okay? Yeah, and now for my dad.
Anyone else? Yeah. All those of us then in the period of mourning will recite together Kaddish and include in our thoughts the names of those on the back of our sheet as well. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemeh haba yomad yivrak yurtei v'yamlik malchutei v'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael v'agalah v'zman kari v'yimru amen. Yehei shmeh haba mevarach ve'olam l'lamei amaya Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitbahar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitgaler, v'yitkalal, shmei d'kudsha, v'richu, v'ela, min kol v'yachata, v'shirata, chushbachata, v'nechamata, kamiram v'yama, v'yimru, amen. Yehei shlama rava min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Oseh shalom v'yama, v'ya'as, Aleinu v'al Yisrael v'al Yisrael v'yimru, amen. Please have a seat. As always, you're welcome to stay as long as you want, as long as you leave by 8:30. The bar closes at 8:15 p.m. Last call is probably around 8 or 8:05, depending on who's pouring the drinks. Wonderful, wonderful upcoming. On next Friday is our CNS 150th Shabbat, and all who are invited to celebrate with those who contributed to our CNS 150 campaign and everyone else. That's not an exclusionary thing. We also have upcoming Wandering Jews with musician August Waters, and that's also going to be Rabbi Eve's birthday. And like Hanukkah in July, if you want to celebrate her twice a year, I'm sure she won't say no. We got a bunch of That's right, exactly. So I think that's it. We've got Tikkun Olam, August 1st through September 8th. We've got some drives, school supplies drive, the Grower Project. We've got a water bottle drive, the Project Lemonade. August 4th, story time with Rabbi Eve at Hillsdale's Farmer Market. We have a BIPOC interfaith gathering on August 7th that just came up, and Michelle Goldberg is here, so I saw you. She could tell you a little bit more about that. August 11th, Cooking for Outside In with Rick Botany, and as well on the same day, the welcoming tour of the historic Jewish Portland, the CNS Sisterhood. And then we're doing Tisha B'Av a little bit differently this year. Tisha B'Av is the summer holiday that marks and commemorates some of the saddest moments in the Jewish history, including the destruction of the first and then the second temple. Given the past year, we really wanted to do something a little bit different, and a remarkable award-winning film called The Legend of Destruction has been offered to us in a way that we could afford to show it. It consists of 1,500 unique new pieces of art created for this film, narrated by all sorts of famous actors, and that'll be sort of, we'll have the bridge reading of Eicha, the Book of Lamentations, and then the regular Tisha B'Av full way of observing with Lamentations and Dirge keynote poems on the next morning. So lots of wonderful things happening and important and poignant. So I hope you'll just continue to keep showing up. Lots of things going on. I want to thank everyone who's involved in making our Shabbat in the Plaza so successful. I can't name everyone, but I can look at you, Lisa, and all the work you do, and getting our volunteers and lay people to set it up. Special thank you, James. Today you have 2 pieces of paper to stick into every prayer book. Took twice as long, so thank you for that. You know, there are invisible tasks that if they didn't happen, you would notice. So thank you to one of our invisible angels there. You are now fully seen. Brian Schur has told me that he's created wonderful drinks tonight. There's something that looks like a Midori drink. It's green, but it's not. It is a Jewish Hanukkah mojito. So fantastic, and all sorts of other good things. If you have your lipitor with you, it's good to do that before eating the pancakes. If not, the miracle of joy and camaraderie will keep all of our arteries open and doing just wonderfully. We're going to conclude with the Don Olam on page 211, and then I'll ask Cantor to make Motzi for us.
211. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yetzir Yikra Le'et Nasa V'Chetzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Yikra Ve'acharei Yichol HaKol Le'Nado Yimloch Nora Ve'hu Ve'hu
anybody can sing a Don Olam to any melody. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Hey, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Hey, Shabbat, Shalom. Hey, Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Hey, Shabbat, Shalom. Hey, Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Allah up here for everyone. It's an amazing miracle. The challah should only have fed 3 hungry kids, but it will feed the entire congregation.
But it's Wow.